Hey guys, sorry, this podcast is actually late. I messed up the recording and editing, but it's finally here. But the topics are a bit old, so sorry about that. We'll avoid that in the future. Obviously, it's not ideal. It's from like May 5th, I believe. So yeah, we're gonna record again today. So you'll have fresh topics next podcast.
What a week, right?
Oh, what a week. Yep.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed Real Talk on a lighter subject. I thought Brittany was really cool. Like, we wanted to keep them around 45 minutes, but we could have gone like 2 or 3 times that pretty easily with her.
Yeah, she was a good talker. Sometimes when you get a guest, you don't really know how they're going to be in terms of doing like a podcast if, they're not used to doing that. But she was really good. Like, she had a lot of information. She explained everything well, and you just never know what you're going to get. So we got a good one.
Yeah, we need to get her back on, like, in the future. I don't know what for, but she was definitely good. Let us know, like, if you guys really enjoyed Real Talk. It was a bit of an experiment to see whether it was the type of thing you guys would be interested in. So we'd appreciate your feedback. So pause this episode, go typey a little nice comment to us, and we'll know. But,
yeah.
So crazy fucking week, right? So we've got DaddyOFive dude lost custody of his stepkids. Philip DeFranco starting a news thing, like there's Twitch bullshit, Delta throwing people off flights, the Fire Festival that went off without a hitch.
Yes.
The amazing new Trump Care, which helps everybody and covers everyone completely with pre-existing conditions. So, there's been no real bad stuff going on.
Yeah, it's all just sunshine
sarcasm.
and rainbows.
Sunshine and happiness. Where the fuck do we start?
Man, I don't know.
We can't go in straight for healthcare because I'm going to go off on a rant and then...
We should save that to the end maybe.
Yeah.
All right, the DaddyOFive thing.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, go watch Philip DeFranco's videos on it because it was crazy. So basically, it's a prank channel, but the people that would have the pranks played on them were the kids, and it would be awful. Like, it was gut-wrenching to watch. Did you watch them, Kelly?
The ones that horrified me the most weren't even pranks. They would do, like, challenges between their kids, and then in one of them...
Like punching each other?
Yeah, I don't know. They were flipping a bottle in one, and then the winner got to slap whoever lost. So, like, he's like, all right, you got to slap your sister now. No, normally you wouldn't slap girls, but this is your sister, so slap her. It's like, what the heck? And then, he slapped his sister. Just stuff like that, and I think there was one where the dad, like, pushed one of the kids down pretty hard.
They're obviously not the like, smartest of parents.
No.
Like, the way they kind of came back and apologized, like the first one, it was very, very adolescent-like, right?
Just a prank, bro. It was just a prank. I mean, it was like those young guy YouTubers. I mean, I don't know if there's a lot of prank girl YouTubers. I've only pretty much seen guys, but, like, they'll do something really screwed up, like some kind of screwed up social experiment where they're, like, grabbing people's butts and acting like it's real, but it's still, like, if it's real, then it's assault, but then, they're like, oh, it was just a prank, bro, they're actors, those kind of things. Like, just like this family did.
I felt like it was worse than that. I mean, these people were parents, and their rebuttal to the reasoning behind it was so adolescent. It was like, whatever, you just don't get it, innit? I don't know
That's
why
what I'm saying, though. That's,
then.
like, why I'm comparing it to that. Like, you expect it sort of out of those idiots, but these were parents. They're, like, older, too.
And their kids are crying. Their kids are sad. Like, as a parent, do you not have any maternal or parental instinct? Like, where is that? Like, you can't...
I bet they loved it when the kids started bawling their eyes out. They're like, yes, cry, more views,
but
more
what was
money.
Worse is, I'm happy that Cody and the girl are out of there, right? Because he's lost custody. The judge issued an emergency custody order giving it to the birth mother. But the birth mother, well, obviously probably not abusive and stuff in the way that they were. She's going to need some help as well, I think.
Yeah, that was, my thing was, okay, well, they're getting the kids out of that situation with the stepmother and was it, who?
The stepmother and the father.
Okay, it was the father, right. like, how's the mom? Is that going to be a good environment for those kids too? Like, is this just a sad situation where unfortunately they both parents just suck?
It kind of, oh, I don't know. So I watched the video, and this is obviously my opinion. Apologies, guys. I can hear the microphone is picking up the thunder outside. It's a massive storm. I have a dog shaking at my feet because she's petrified of thunder. She's already torn up the carpet in my bedroom today because of it. So she's in here. So if you hear any barking or growling, it's Kelly. And if it's not Kelly, it's my dog. Yeah, anyway, so I watched the video with her, the real mum, and the lawyer. And it was really quite painful to watch.
I couldn't watch. I started watching and I made it like 3 minutes and I just skipped through and I was like, I
forced myself to, because he was trying to drag answers out of her and she was just like, yes sir, no sir. I was like, well, you know, some people aren't good on camera.
Yeah.
But there was... Again, I feel like the intelligence wasn't great then. Now, you don't have to be hugely intelligent to be a parent, and this isn't... I'm going to sound so awful right now, but I just hope she has support and guidance around her to help those kids. But I'm not a judge. A judge has deemed her fit, so I hope she is. I really just want the best for those kids. Does that make sense? Like, as long as she has good intention and love, then I think that's, no matter what, it's going to be a better situation. But I look at that mother, and I think that's someone who also needs a support network herself. So I hope she's got that. Not just for the kids' sake, but for hers as well, because from what we hear, she's had a bit of a bumpy past.
Yeah, and that was my big concern too. Was like, all right, they're getting out of this situation, but how's the mother? Like, because everyone was like acting like it was this great, wonderful thing, and I mean, honestly, in my opinion, it's just kind of up in there because like no one knows how that mother is. But no. I mean, they're still getting out of an abusive situation, so.
Yeah, she lost custody before. That, you know, that's why Cody and Thingy were with abuser dude.
Yeah.
Mike Martin.
Bye YouTube money, kids. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. That's awful. It's a joke, guys. Stop.
It's just a prank, bro.
Just a prank. It was just a joke.
Well, that was awful. But I mean, credit to Philip DeFranco, man, for... While I think he kind of over-dramatized the situation a little bit.
I mean, I feel like he's always been one of the YouTubers who does that a lot.
But I'm cool with that when there's a kid involved. Like, that
absolutely.
Has to be fucking hammered home. That was not cool.
Yeah, and then the more videos that came out once people started looking at, like, every single thing on their channel, it was horrifying. Worse and worse.
But
and
my respect
for the non-apology.
And then the vest and the PR firm and the baby pink clothing came out.
Oh, yeah.
And the hard
mother's
cuts.
face was so, like, pink and red and just, like... Oh.
Yeah, it was, and the hard apologies. But kudos to Philip DeFranco. Like, he got his team or him in contact with the police forces that were trying to investigate it, but because all the videos had been removed, like he followed it through. Like, he made sure they were investigated.
Yeah.
It wasn't just wham bam, I'm going to do a video, take the money and run. This was I'm doing a video because I give a shit and I'm going to make sure something happens. So credit to him for that.
I wonder how many reports police got about them.
Oh, I imagine they were flooded.
It was probably crazy.
It was, I bet it was pretty insane. I remember looking at one of the local Twitters on there, like one of the police departments, and their pinned tweet was like, this department is dealing with this situation.
Yeah,
like, so you could tell that they'd just been flooded.
I think they had it on like Facebook too. They were just like, we know we're investigating, please.
Just stop. But yeah, that's the downside of social media, I guess. And I guess we could go on from there because it kind of is related to Philip DeFranco. He's setting up his own news network.
Yeah.
And asking for Patreon. And the pitchforks have come out amongst YouTubers for it.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, I think if he does something really good, like, because he has a lot of donors so far. He's probably making, a lot of fucking money each month. I think it would be interesting to see him use that to like expand things. Maybe there are like live streams where he has like, a team on the ground at protests.
He's already said he wants to do that. He wants to get like people out on the ground.
Yeah, and I think stuff like that would be awesome. And obviously that costs a pretty penny, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of people criticizing him saying, oh, you know, he's a multi-millionaire. He shouldn't be going after people's money. But here's the thing, like, so many multi-millionaires kickstart businesses all the time. He's not forcing you to. He's like, hey, I want to do this. Chip in.
Isn't that like an advice thing from like rich people is you never use your own money to start a business. You get investments, in this case online.
And I imagine he's probably already put a fat chunk of his money in anyway. And like, even if he didn't, even if he was 100% funding this for Patreon, good on you, dude. Good fucking on you. That's how YouTube works. Like, all these people that take donations off Twitch streams have their own Patreons. You're doing the same fucking thing, but you're not giving as much back.
Well, I think it also depends too. Some people run Patreons and they give a lot of incentives, and even sometimes physical, like merchandise. They set it up in a way like that. Some people, you know, it's just I'll add you on Snapchat, or it's you don't really get anything, but you can support me. I think it's up to people to decide what they want to do with their money. Like, no one, you know, if someone wants to give to Philip DeFranco, that's fine. Like, they can do with their money whatever they want.
Yeah,
so honestly, I don't understand the criticisms. You know, it's up to his audience to decide, you know, whether they want to support it or not. No one has a gun up to their head saying, oh, you have to donate. Da-da-da-da-da. No.
Yeah, I totally agree. I would completely support it if my health insurance premium wasn't so high and about to be raised even more.
Yeah. You might need your own sort of crowdfunding.
Oh man,
soon.
I was like, oh, I want to donate to this, and I look at my bank account and I'm like, yes, I've got, oh yeah, wait, my premium for the next quarter is due next week.
Yeah, better be a little more careful with the cash.
I'll stick to the ramen noodles for a while. But yeah, no, I think it's cool. He's one of the few people that manages to stay somewhat unbiased. And when he is biased, he'll call it out. Like, he'll be like, look, this involves a kid. You know, I'm biased
I guess
here.
My only criticism would be, like, clickbait sometimes is pretty extreme.
Yeah, I feel like he's been around YouTube for long enough to earn the right to be clickbaity as fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, dude, he's been on the site over 10 years. As far as I'm concerned, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can bring back the boob thumbnails.
Dude, he should bring back the giveaway. No, I think he already brought back giveaways. He was part of the whole giveaway thing. He should bring them back.
Yeah, he never stopped. He never stopped. He's always done it.
Did he? No one, like... I don't know. I never got that whole thing. I think giveaways have always been a great idea because it gives back to the... It's like the anti-Patreon. You give something back. It's just not everyone gets it.
Yeah, exactly. I have never had a problem with that. And I find the people that have are just pissed off because they didn't think about it.
I mean, yeah, that's sort of like the YouTubers like angry about people starting Patreons, even though, again, it's, you know, it's people's choice whether they want to support their favorite YouTuber or not. It's just the YouTubers always have... it seems like an opinion about what other people are doing. And I understand it sometimes if it's like, you know, like DaddyOFive, you know, abusing your kids. I get that, but some things are just really nitpicky, and I don't think they stem from a place of like thinking the thing is actually wrong. It could be they're upset they didn't think of the idea, or they're getting jealous because they see someone doing well at something, and it's just a variety of reasons, really.
Yeah, I'm like, you do you. I think it's a cool idea. I think it's, and you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's because of the ad revenue, but he's been talking about doing this for a long time. It may, you know, the ad revenue on YouTube dropping may well have sped up the process. But he's been talking about doing it way before the adpocalypse happened, you know, where everyone's ad revenue has dropped. I think last month I earned 13 cents on my channel. Rolling in that YouTube money, la 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 la.
Mine fell 50%. It did. I'm going to give it more than a month though. I can definitely see where...
Come back at me when you're earning 13 cents, bitch.
Yeah, not quite there yet. But yeah, I don't have that issue. Mine's still pretty good, but I got that female demographic, and those ladies, they have good paying ads. So now I just have to like completely like no more dirty dating sims. No, I'm still gonna do that stuff, but yeah, I can definitely tell what games like are gonna get me paid and which ones won't.
Yeah, YouTube's killing itself though. I mean, because they take what is it, 30% of the overall, or is it 45? I can't remember. It's an obscene amount. 45, yeah. YouTube takes 45% of everything, right? So if pretty much everyone who was earning money has had a considerable drop, most are between 20 and 80% drop from what I've seen. I know that's huge, but it varies on genre and things like that. Then YouTube is tanking, right? I mean, they have to do something. Like, I just imagine, like, the day advertisers started pulling out, like, a big siren going off, because where the fuck are those ads going?
Are they going to go to Facebook, though? Like, I see the same issues on, like, Facebook's the next, I think, largest seller of ads online. I mean, they have like murder on their live platform. Obviously it's not the norm, but like just recently a guy like hung his 11-month-old daughter.
I can't even, just don't even talk about it.
Just disgusting.
Yeah, there's just murder on there.
Yeah, like advertisers on it, like, oh my god, we can't show our ads on Facebook anymore.
I mean, I think this is just like a battle between mainstream media and YouTube, and I think mainstream media can work advertisers more than YouTube can, even today. Like, the power of YouTube, unfortunately, a lot of these people that are running the ad departments are still kind of the old school guys. Some of them haven't really caught up to the power of YouTube, but I mean, companies are losing out. But ultimately, I worry about YouTube. I know the COD guys are getting absolutely violated, in the new Call of Duty being called World War II. I
think it's like an automated demonetization for war.
Yeah.
I also heard, though, that it was either YouTube or Google that came out, whatever, same thing practically, but and said, like, within the next couple months it should normalize back to how it was. So we'll see. I think I need to give it longer than like a month. It's been like a month. I want to give it a little longer to see how, like, if I go back to what I was making, or if like this 50% cut remains.
Yeah, I mean, I never really give a shit about my YouTube earning. I've always just done it for, I don't know why I've done it, actually.
You enjoy it?
Why do I do it, Kelly? Yeah, I've never given a crap about my YouTube earnings. I'm like, cool, I made $5 this month.
Yeah, to me it's always just been like, all right, it's cool to make a lot of money here, but you can't let that be like your only thing.
Yeah, I mean, I had my good months, like when I would do regular content. I was like, yay, money. But then I was just like, I don't want this as a job. It's
like, it can be a fun job. I can't make YouTube my like main, like, as soon as I start like putting hours and hours and hours into it, I don't know, I get a little unhappy, but some people love it. But the thing about YouTube, above all else, is that it is super unstable income, because you can be popular at one moment and then that popularity fades, and maybe it comes back, maybe it doesn't. Your whole channel could be removed because of copyright issues. It's just not a stable thing.
Yeah, that I mean, I think that's why I was like, I don't want this as my job in any way, shape or form. So I, whenever I started to grow, you remember, like, my channel was like 85,000 subs at one point, when that was a big amount. And I just stopped uploading. I was like, fuck this. No.
I get, like, it's nerve-wracking having a large channel. Like, I already have to worry about Alex's, like, weirdos from his big channel. And yeah, he's definitely more controversial than me, but like, there was this moment where I was just getting a lot of views each month, and it kept growing, and I was starting to get really stressed out about it, and like all these comments, and I want to read them all, and it was just overwhelming me to the point where it's like I stopped uploading as much. And
absolutely. Like, I like to keep, like, the subscribers that I have left, like, they're the best, right? Because they have no expectations of me uploading. Like, I can upload once a year and they'll be like, yay, she's back, see you next year. Like, they get it, right? They get it. They know that I just upload when I feel like it, when I want to. And I think because of that, they get better content. Well, it's not great content, to be honest. I think they just get updates and they're happy with it.
Yeah, I tend to play games I'm having fun with, and I know sometimes it aggravates my viewers, but I'll stop playing a game because it just gets boring to me. But I just can't do it. There's some YouTubers who like will spend 2 years playing games that they hate because it's what does good and makes money for them. And I just cannot do that with games I don't like.
No,
It's
yeah,
just like,
if I'm not feeling it, I won't do it. Like, was it, yeah, Dead Space. I got tricked into playing Dead Space by another YouTuber called Spoonerism, Camping Tree.
oh, spoonerism.
Yeah, so he had told me that it was like they all knew that I didn't like horror games, and my ex and him had tricked me into it being a sci-fi game, and because I hadn't played, maybe it was Dead Space 2, I can't remember, but I hadn't played the previous one, I didn't know anything about it. They tricked me into thinking it was sci-fi, but it was a horror game, I guess, because I would almost shit myself. And like my ex had skipped through the intro, so I didn't really see anything, and Spoon's walking me through the single player, and I was like just screaming and just shitting myself, and I think I got like, I don't know, 30 minutes in, and I was done. I was like, no! You know, but everyone wanted more, you know, because everyone thought it was hilarious. I was losing my shit, but I was just so mad at them because they knew I didn't like scary stuff.
Yeah, so the YouTube ad stuff is definitely scary, and I mean, there's some people just flat out start a Patreon right away with not. And again, we were talking about that and how it's not a big deal, and I really don't think it is, but it felt like some people were just starting that right away just because, like...
Panic mode,
yeah. I don't know if they were, like, living paycheck to paycheck, which is just something really risky to do when you're a YouTuber.
99% of YouTubers are.
Yeah, I mean, definitely,
Think about it. 99% of YouTubers are living paycheck to paycheck.
And that's so risky, though. It really is. If you're living paycheck to paycheck YouTube-wise, because it can change so fast. And
that's the gamble they all take.
Yeah, and then some months already didn't pay well, and, well, now we have this whole ad thing. But
yeah, the worst thing about the ad thing is it came just as ads were starting to pick up. You know, first quarter is over, which is the worst ad revenue of the year. Mm-hmm. And where we should be ramping up in income, we get ad blocks.
Oh, Super Bowl Sunday, that entire weekend. Oh, man, there's so I would make so much money on ads during that specific weekend. It's like the best paying. But it's only one weekend, so sometimes I'll like have a marathon
hourly
videos
uploads.
Ready to go.
Yeah, hourly uploads, bitches.
Yeah, I think it will like normalize a little more, but it'll be interesting to see like what videos are going to be okay and which ones won't. Like if that stuff does really change, or if they're just like sort of changing a little bit now. I think they need to be more upfront with YouTubers about what videos are okay and which ones aren't. I wonder if they don't do that because they know people would just change the name, change titles to get around it.
Yeah, they'll cheat the algorithm. The biggest issue that I have is YouTube's always been like this alternative place that was uncensored. And, you know, it's not censored, but it's being censored by the fact that ads aren't running for those who YouTube is a job, is a career. I hope they don't go to what they ran away from, right? The anti-television, the anti-TV network restrictions. And now it seems like they're actually being more restrictive than a TV network and things like that were.
Yeah, I mean, I just looking at my videos, I can tell, because I was making, like, I was really trying not to swear at all, and then I still saw that some videos made more money than others. Like, there was clear-cut difference between certain games and other games. Like, The Walking Dead used to make really good ad money for me. Now, no, rip that game. I don't know if it's because Dead is in the title. I think it also might be that the automated voice is getting a lot better, and I wonder if they have algorithms to detect what you're saying, which is why I was trying not to swear, just to see if it changed anything.
Yet the TV show The Walking Dead, far more gory, far more graphic, far worse language, runs premium ads.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That I mean, there's disgusting gore. You'll see someone's like whole face getting ripped apart, beaten with a baseball bat with wires. It's nasty.
Yeah,
but that's
right?
not an issue.
No, that's running premium ads, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. And, but a YouTube video of the game, nope.
All because PewDiePie made a joke about the Holocaust, man.
Nice job, Pewds.
God!
Damn it, Felix.
Wow.
Blame PewDiePie.
Well, Google had been sort of doing that thing, hadn't they? With like these sort of extreme fake, you can call them fake news websites, because some of them were really extreme like that, where it was like Hillary Clinton reptilian sort of thing. They were taking ads from the websites like that.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I just remember there was like a big stink. I think Alex Jones had lost his ad sense.
Well, he should have lost it ages ago. That dude's fucking crazy. He needs to lose everything or have his AdSense money sent to the local psychiatric hospital.
Alex Jones is wild as fuck. Sometimes I like watching just so I can be like, what the heck is he going to say?
Gay frogs, bro. Gay frogs.
Yeah, the gay frogs are making our frogs gay, guys.
It's true.
We're next. Soon all of us will be gay.
I haven't watched it yet. He was on Joe Rogan the other week, and I've got it queued up, but I haven't listened. I wanted to listen to it today.
You have to. It's good.
Is it really good?
Yeah, and another good one most recently, Eddie Bravo went on there and he talked about flat Earth. And Joe Rogan was getting so pissed off, but it's just funny to listen to.
Flat Earth, fucking hell. Eddie Bravo's cool as well, like, so that's kind of horrifying.
Yeah, he is a cool guy. I've always enjoyed him on the podcast, but this was wild. It was really wild.
Yeah.
He'd, like, give me proof, and then they would, like, give him proof, and they're like, and it was because it was, like, more mathematics based, and he didn't really understand it. He was like, well, no, I need proof. Whoever did that could be making it up. And that was pretty much the argument for everything, was that.
Oh,
it
wow.
could be made up, and that all these scientists are lying because there's an agenda by, like, the elites, that sort of thing.
Wow. If you want to know the agenda by the elites, it's a $600 billion tax cut.
Ooh, hoo.
Oh, conspiracy. No, fact. No, anyway, so this is the big topic for tonight, guys. We want to talk about healthcare. We don't want to talk about it, but we do want to talk about it. We're all pissed off and we're all worried.
I mean, yeah, it's going to affect everyone.
It affects me.
Yeah, it
as
directly.
Well. Like, so this is
it's
why
going to impact you right away.
Greatly. So, for those of you who don't know, the first stage of appeal and replace of Obamacare went through today. Now, I'm not on Obamacare, but it will still affect me, and it will affect a lot of people who aren't on Obamacare as well as those who are. So, it passed through the House today, which to me is like political suicide, right? Because it has to go through the Senate. And they're all up for re-election next year. So I imagine if this passes, like, next year, things are going to change. But it's still going to be at least a year of people potentially being uncovered, uninsured. But it doesn't matter because the top 2% and a bunch of corporations have hammered out a bunch of tax cuts by removing the tax credits that everyone else uses to help fund their health insurance, cutting Medicaid and Medicare and all that good stuff. But it's cool because that money that they took away from the most vulnerable is going to help those who, live a meager existence on a few $1 billion a year.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want them to suffer.
Bless their hearts, as they say here in the South. I don't know how they manage such a meager existence. Huffington Post, obviously a very liberal publication, basically referred to it as... can't find the quote. No, that's not what they referred to it as, obviously. Can't find the quote. That would be great.
Oh, no.
Come on, internet. You can do this. I know there's a storm going on, but you can manage this. Anyway, it was something about, like, killing millions to fund millionaires. Something subtle like that. But it kind of got the point across.
Yeah.
It It's huge. So I'm going to try and break it down so you guys can understand it as simple as possible. So, protection for Congress. Congress currently have one of the first amendments in the Act. They still get, members of Congress and the House still get the Obamacare protections.
Yeah, so like that was the craziest thing I saw out of this. Now apparently they're changing that and they're getting rid of that exemption, supposedly.
It's being brought up. It's not definite that it's going.
Yeah, exactly.
And bear in mind that they added that in, like.
So wait, the Affordable Care Act is really bad and horrible, but you guys want to stay on it and you want to give us whatever this is, huh?
Yeah, right. So that's gone. Now, the protection for pre-existing conditions, Trump's going on and on about how, yes, there's protection for pre-existing conditions, but here's what you need to know. While an insurer cannot refuse you for having a pre-existing condition, they can charge you whatever the fuck they want for it. Now, currently, the estimations, I only know my figures off the top of my head. If you have asthma, I expect to pay an extra $4,500 a year on your premiums alone. This is excluding deductibles. This is just an estimation. Bear in mind, this was voted for before the CBO scored it. That's the Congressional Budgetary Office. They haven't scored this. This is very unusual for any act like this to be voted upon before it is scored. It is a rush job, to say the fucking least of it.
There was like one of the reps said like he hadn't even read it.
They haven't read it. It hasn't been scored. It was presented like, I don't know, yesterday and voted on today.
Yeah, like
no one's had time to view
it.
But they need a victory. That's it. They don't give a shit. They just need to win. They don't give a fuck. But anyway, so there is protection for pre-existing conditions, but you're going to have to pay for it. And this is how I see it, right? So if you've got rheumatoid arthritis, your premiums are estimated to increase by $27,000 a year. If you have asthma, it's $4,500 a year. If you have cancer, it's like $126,000 to $172,000 a year in premiums. Again, excluding deductibles, excluding cost of medications. So here's what's going to happen. People like me who work, who are self-employed, because I wouldn't be able to get a normal job because there are days that I won't be able to go to work. About 4 days a month, I am unfit to travel. Now, I can work if I'm working from home, but I certainly couldn't get in the car and handle a ride or anything like that. Also, having a low immune system, working in an office environment doesn't work. I'm just going to get sick. Instead of going on disability, obviously, I created my own business and I'm self-employed. So I'm self-employed, which means I pay the highest rate of tax. I probably pay more percentage-wise of taxes than most Fortune 500 companies. It's very strange in the US. Most countries, like if you're self-employed or you have a small business, you get tax breaks. In the US, they fuck you for it. I will lose any tax credits that I get. Currently, I get about $2,000 a year to help with the cost of my healthcare premiums, which are about $8,000 a year. That's excluding cost of medication, blah, blah, blah. However, I wouldn't have to worry about any of that if I gave up my job, fired my employees, folded the business, and just stayed at home and lived off disability.
Yeah.
And that's what this could force me to do. I'm never going to do it. I'm going to fight. But all these people who are currently in work, who have pre-existing conditions, that now, by the way, you know, obviously this has also affected how companies have to insure employers as well. I haven't read the wording on it, but that's going to change. So if you're working at a small business and you don't have health coverage and you have a pre-existing condition or you're disabled, you too may be forced out of the workplace and onto disability. So in my mind, that pre-existing condition coverage is actually going to cost the taxpayer a ton of money more, because mental health problems are going to increase, because you're going to have sick people sat at home doing nothing, unable to work, with no purpose in life, really, apart from being sick. So there's going to be mental health.
To me, it's like, all right, I don't have any pre-existing conditions, but like, I'd be afraid to go to the doctor in case like, I don't know, some, like, anything, like, I don't know, any, like, acne is a pre-existing condition. There's a lot of really absurd ones.
Rape is a pre-existing condition.
You can't even control that.
Rape is a pre-existing condition. Yeah, if you have been a victim of sexual...
Like, certain diseases, some you can't.
What blows my motherfucking mind about the Republican is they're a predominantly hardcore Christian group. I know they're not all, but we all know, like, the religious fundamentals of Christianity, most of them are Republicans. They're pro-life, anti-LGBT, anti-trans, anti all this. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure the Bible was preaching about helping the poor.
That's what I like. If that doesn't exist, as soon as someone says that, they're like,
we are pro-life until you leave that womb, and then you are on your own. Like, you quote the Bible for being against the LGBT community. You quote the Bible for religious freedom and all of this, yet when it comes to love thy neighbor, helping the poor, and not judging, they're the ones that it makes me so mad.
They almost act like the poor are sinners, that they're in a position of bad health because they did it to themselves by, like, drinking or doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there was a Republican from Alabama. What is his name? Mo Brooks. Basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he's on TV. We'll link it in the description. He basically said that, those who live right and do everything right shouldn't be paying for those who don't and are getting sick. Like, the way he worded it was though, well, people who are sick and have pre-existing conditions, like, they kind of had it coming. Like, they fucked up.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't seem to comprehend.
And disgusting that he even said that. Like, what a dumb thing to say.
What about a child born with cancer? What did that kid do? Like,
they deserved
how much sin could it commit in the womb, right?
So gross.
It's just horrifying. They just seem so out of touch. So yeah, pre-existing is covered, but it's really not.
I was reading on the I looked at the new bill website where you can, like, download the bill and look at it, because I was trying to figure out, all right, it is where you can't be denied if you have a pre-existing condition, but they can put you in a high-risk pool. Now, what the website claims is that depending whatever state you're in, the state has to ask for assistance for those in the high-risk pool or something, and then you can get assistance with, like, what you can't cover. But it was all just explained it was very confusing that it almost didn't even make sense, and it just seemed like they were kind of trying to put, like, a weird answer out there so that people wouldn't be worried.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, they were all laughing and joking and celebrating, and the meeting before they did the vote, like, the Republicans entered to the Rocky theme tune. I wish I was joking, but they're like, yes, we're gonna fuck over people, fuck the disabled, screw the poor, we're just gonna cure poverty by just killing them all.
We gotta deal with overpopulation somehow.
Oh my God. At the end of the podcast, we're going to play probably a little monologue. If we don't, I'll link to it in the bottom. And it was a comedy skit in England, but I think it's very important that you all listen to it. So we'll put it at the end of the podcast, or if we haven't, we'll put it as a link in the description. But my God. So in celebration of the massive tax cut for the rich, they have slashed Medicaid and Medicare. I can't remember which one's which. One is for the sick and the disabled and low income, and one is for the elderly.
Also, Planned Parenthood, I think, is completely defunded by the federal government now. So not just
only
for
Medicaid. I mean, it can still take private donations and everything, but
exactly.
Now, what was really, really weird about this is, like, when the vote passed, the Dems started, like, singing, like, hey, hey, goodbye at the Republicans, because they knew, na, 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 hey, hey. Goodbye.
Goodbye, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because they know that next year all the Senate seats get revoted for.
But they're going to blame it on Obama. Like, we all know what's going to happen. If this thing just, like, kills tons of people, let's say millions of people die, and that's, like, worst case scenario. They're going to be like, oh, Obama did it.
You say it's worst case scenario, but it's going to happen, right? I earn a decent amount, but if my premiums are 60 grand, I don't have health insurance.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's still, like, the worst thing that can
within...
happen, even though it's, like, going towards that.
I'm dead within, like, a week of no meds. I mean, I'm, you know, I could pack up my life, sell everything, and go back to England with my tail between my legs. I don't want to. But what about Americans? Like, people who are here in a situation like mine, like, a healthy population is an efficient and productive one. Like, we're one of the few developed countries that doesn't have healthcare. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Healthcare could be so much cheaper if there was single payer. Like, if the government bought all the meds and we bought the meds off them, that's not some commie policy. It's not some socialist bullshit. That's like economies of scale, business 101, buy bulk, sell cheap. That's the government looking after his people. It's not people getting free medication. It's people paying the cost of medication rather than the cost plus 8 million% because the drug companies are greedy cockbags.
Yeah, I mean, America has... we have great health care in terms of, you know... we can make you better a lot of times for a lot of things. You're going to get good care, but it's the cost of it.
Potentially. I've had some pretty bad experiences.
I don't know. Where I am, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But yeah, there's bad experiences. I agree. But
yeah.
Compared to the rest of the world, I don't know. I think America is the top of the top in terms of like cutting edge medical technology and great doctors. And again, not every hospital is going to have that, but yeah, it's just in terms of the costs, like, and there was so much talk about that during the elections as pharmaceutical companies, and Donald Trump was talking about it, Hillary Clinton was talking about it, Bernie Sanders was talking about it, and like no one's talking about it anymore. It just seems to be, how can we... They don't even get, like, there should be something in there, like, about the price of medications, about them raising it, just absurd amounts. But there's nothing like that, and I've stopped hearing about it.
Donald Trump tweeted when he was running, "I was the first and only potential GOP candidate to state that there would be no cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid." He just cut them. He just cut them.
Yeah.
So here's a list of countries with universal healthcare. Algeria, Botswana, a country I can't pronounce, Egypt, Ghana, another country I can't pronounce, Morocco, Rwanda, another country I can't pronounce, South Africa, Tunisia, Bhutan, Hong Kong, India, Israel, People's Republic of China, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Taiwan, Thailand, Austria, Croatia, Czech Republic, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Jersey, Guernsey, Iceland, Ireland, Isle of Man, obviously, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Romania, Russia and Soviet Union. Oh, you know it's bad when the Russians beat us. Serbia, Sweden, Switzerland, the UK. Why is England its own thing? Whatever. Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, obviously because of the UK. Canada, Costa Rica, the Bahamas, Cuba. Cuba is actually like really fucking advanced medically. Mexico, Trinidad. Yeah, there's a ton. Hang on, they may not all be. They're not all universal, but they all have like some form of universal and private running alongside it. There's more. We'll link. But yeah, it seems like pretty much everywhere apart from the USA. And I'm not saying universal healthcare is the way forward, but something has to change. People are going to die if this passes the Senate.
Yeah. Did you see there was a graph going around? I might have seen it on your Twitter. It was like who would get hit hardest by this healthcare replacement
Oh
plan.
yeah,
You
it's
have
all the
like,
people that voted for Trump. It's all the states
yeah,
that
I
voted
saw
for Trump.
a lot of. It was it only red states?
I don't know. I
It
mean,
was
like,
like the
think,
people who get hit hardest with pre-existing conditions.
yeah. Um, Pregnancy, by the way, is a pre-existing condition that will increase your premium $17,320 a year.
Yeah, like
Depression and
who would have a
bipolar.
kid then? How can you even have a kid?
Well, I mean, one could claim, if you're a conspiracy theorist, that this is the GOP's version of population control and creating their own version of fucking Aryan Brotherhood or whatever.
Oh
This is
yeah,
eugenics. Eugenics, get rid of the poor and sick, man.
but
Only
then
the rich
like
can
how are the
breed.
white people gonna have babies then? If that's like I don't get these people, man.
I don't
So
know.
weird.
Pregnancy, depression and bipolar, $8,500 a year increase. Diabetes. So of course, if you're stressed out, we'll just give you more to stress you out about, right?
I think I read it was 452% increase to pregnancy costs now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm never gonna go to the doctor. I don't want to get anything that's like randomly gonna be a pre-existing condition, because that's terrifying. And then the people who already have pre-existing conditions, oh, well,
That's why so many people like around here will just treat themselves. Like they'll get like animal medication because they have farms and shit like that. And there are so many people around here that just don't go to doctors because they're scared of being, the fact they don't have insurance.
yeah.
And they'll just like, they'll get their vet out to look after their cattle and they'll just dose themselves.
Oh my gosh.
It's just crazy. But how tragic is that?
It is really tragic.
Like, this is the United States of America. And, like, the government is just about to fuck millions of people. Millions. Not just a few. Not just those who are entitled. I mean, they don't seem to understand how insurance works. Like, they were bitching that, the healthy have to pay for the unhealthy. Well, like, that's how insurance works. That's how your car insurance works. You're paying for terrible drivers. You're paying for that teenage driver who doesn't have a clue what they're doing, but you're also sharing the cost with the 45-year-old dude with a clean driving record. Like, you insure your cars. Why your cars seem as more valuable than people? I don't understand.
This has that thing where I think, say you don't want to get insurance, you're young, you just don't think you need it. You can get it after something happens, but then you have to pay a little more towards your premium for a year.
An extra 30% for 2 years.
Oh, for 2 years? I thought it only
It
been
might be
year,
1
but
year.
I think it still ended up like sort of being cheaper.
Wow.
So maybe it didn't, but like if you were paying every year,
Insurance.
again, it would depend on when the person got sick, how long they went without insurance, whether it would save them money or not.
In my opinion, here would be the ideal situation. Obviously, I know fuck all, so I'm just spitballing here. But I would think that a single payer system for medication, where the government buys all the medication and then you buy it off the government, right, at cost, so that it's only costing the government labor at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That would bring the cost of insurance, because that would bring the cost of treatment, chemotherapy, and stuff like that down. Because bear in mind, like over here, everything's way more expensive. Like, and not just like 100% more expensive. It's like 500 to several %1,000% more expensive than any other country in the world. So if you get a single payer where the government can get bulk deals, that will bring down the cost of medication, which will bring down the cost of treatment, which will bring down the cost of insurance, which will bring down the cost of hospital. Do you see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
if just that, and then everyone has to get insurance. And I'm sorry, but insurance should be compulsory, because I don't know anyone who would be like, oh, if I got hit by a car, I don't want help.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't just leave someone on the road. We're humans. We're not barbarians. And I think that everybody should have health insurance. And I think that kind of single buyer medical system, medication system would help bring those costs down enough to where insurance was affordable. But I also don't think, I think kids should just have free coverage. I think until you're 18, you should be covered. Until you're 26, you should be allowed on your parents' thing as you are now. But I think if you don't invest in a kid, that person has no help. Like, the reason I'm not sat at home on disability was because growing up in England, I was given every bit of support I needed to make me a stubborn fuck to be where I am today. Had I grown up in America, I would probably be at home doing nothing, overweight, depressed. I'd probably have killed myself through boredom, and I would be stuck on disability.
Yeah, this is...
Instead, I'm someone who runs a business and employs people.
Mm-hmm.
And pays taxes and doesn't take disability, has never taken disability.
It just seems like, yeah, it's like be a debt slave or die.
Yeah. Bankruptcy or Death, the new skit by Eddie Izzard. Did you ever watch that Eddie Izzard skit, Cake or Death?
Oh, no.
Okay. A comedian called Eddie Izzard did something about the Church of England. He was like, cake or death? Cake or death? Death,
oh, I know, I did. I think I might have seen that, yeah.
Oh, it's like bankruptcy or death. It's a new healthcare plan.
What happened to, selling insurance across state lines? Because...
Oh, he hasn't mentioned that since he mentioned it.
Yeah, Trump was also mentioning single payer for a long time, which would have been great. But that quickly changed. Because that was a big issue with the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare or whatever. Some people, there was only one provider and they were charging kind of insane premiums, and those people can afford it, and I could see how they would be worried about this plan, and certainly it needed, certain changes, but it's this is something completely different. And the only good things I hear, people say, they're oh, but tax cuts. It's for the fucking rich.
When Trump got elected, the only thing I was looking forward to was his healthcare. That was my light at the end of the tunnel. I was
me too. It was a lot of stress away from me. I was okay, good. At least he keeps saying single payer. That would be great.
Yeah, it was the silver lining. Okay, this guy is a complete fucking twat, but you know what? He has the right idea about healthcare. But at this point, I don't think Trump is pulling any strings. I don't think Trump is doing anything. I think he's just being given things to sign by wealthy people who are cutting themselves tax breaks and writing themselves bonus checks off the back of everyone else. I just don't think Trump's in control in any way, shape or form. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think he's out of his depth. I don't think he understands what's going on. He flip-flops every time he sees a different person. And I wish we had White House visitor logs, because you could probably go a day before he meets someone and a day after, and you could probably see his opinion change.
Yeah.
And link it to visitors at the White House. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't think he knows what he's doing, because he did run on things that he claimed to believe in. And I think he believed that's what he delivered today. If you watch his speech today, it was we did it. He was speaking with such conviction that he had fulfilled his promises that I'm not even convinced he's aware he didn't.
Yeah,
I feel like his advisors
for him, it was single payer, and then it was going to be, states, it can go across states so that people can get a cheaper plan and there's more competition. Okay. And then now it's what it is, and he acts like it's still the same sort of what?
Yeah, it's almost as he may have been sat there. Oh, yeah, and does this cover the single payer and the state lines? Yes, Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Just sign here, Mr. Trump. And I feel like he may be being conned as well. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling he believes he has delivered what he promised. And I don't think he's got the attention span to read it. Though. I don't think it will. I think you still need to call your representatives and call your congressmen and make them understand, because I didn't think this was even going to get past the House. And let's face it, none of us thought Trump would be president. So don't bank on this probably won't pass the Senate, because we shouldn't even be here now, like in this situation. So please call your representatives and your senators and tell them, because it still has to pass the Senate. I think it needs a 60% majority, but we all know Trump does some dodgy shit when it comes to needing majorities, like changing the voting rules, enacting stuff.
The House of Representatives, it was like, what was it, 217 to like 213? It was really close.
Yeah, there were only 16 Republicans that were against it.
Yeah, I think it was 20. It ended up being 20.
Oh, 20? Yeah, I may have
something
looked
like
at the
that.
list
But
earlier.
no, around there.
But guys, you've got to call, you've got to write, you've got to email, you've got to, if you got to share, you've got to promote this, because it's going to fuck everyone. Like the elderly especially, like I think there's like a 500 to 800% increase on their premiums. So it's now their healthcare premiums is now going to exceed their income.
I just don't.
So your favorite grandma, she's dead.
Oh no.
Granny is dead. That's it. I can't believe this has passed. Like, I know it's not passed the Senate, but I can't believe it got this far. And I don't believe that Republicans are stupid enough to have put this through having read it. Had they read it, this would not have passed. And I would hope that had Trump read this bill, he would not have endorsed it. Perhaps that's me being too nice.
I want to know the assholes who put in the exemption for like
Paul Ryan.
He's such an asshole.
He got the beers. He did a massive celebration after with alcohol and champagne and everything. Like that little fucking weasel was so happy. He's like, yes, $200,000 saved on my taxes next year. Fuck those bitches who are sick. But here's the biggest thing that seems to have not really been mentioned in much of the news coverage is with the Medicaid and Medicare cuts, a lot of that is going to cut special education programs. So for schools who run classes for people with physical, or offer adaptations for people with physical disabilities or extra lessons for those with learning disabilities, those are going to go.
This sounds like eugenics through healthcare.
Absolutely. I know I joked about it earlier, but it kind of is, right? Because they're making it easy for the rich and the wealthy, but they're making it almost impossible if your normal income, like this isn't anything to do with the middle class or even the poor. This is people earning under $250,000 a year. If you even more than that, if you've had cancer and you're not earning $500,000 a year, you're going to lose a third to your taxes, a third to your premiums. And
so don't get cancer, guys. Just don't do it.
But don't worry about it.
Take care of yourself. Work hard.
Half the population is going to get cancer of some form, right?
Get that healthcare savings account going.
1 in 3. So right now, this isn't just about an attack on the sick or the disabled. This is an attack on people who are earning a normal amount of money.
Yeah. This is a mess.
So guys, you have to call, you have to whatever. I know this has been a rambling of a podcast, but we didn't know how to approach it because it's such a fucking mess. We weren't expecting to have to talk about it because we didn't think it would pass. I
mean, so many people probably at least know someone who has a pre-existing condition, or they have one themselves, and that's very scary. Like if you have a family member or one of your good friends, whoever, your partner,
one of your
scary.
friends has a Ventolin inhaler in their bag. One of your friends probably has an EpiPen in their bag. One of your friends probably has had cancer, maybe even
or acne.
more.
Acne was a pre-existing condition.
One of your friends has
allergies
probably been,
too.
Yeah, one of your friends has probably been raped. Multiple of your friends have probably had or going to get cancer. I think it's like 1 in 3 or 1 in 2, depending on the type of cancer. I would be very, very surprised if there are many people with that list who do not have a pre-existing condition. But don't worry, because Congress is safe. they are exempt from all these wonderful new things that they have put on us, they will still have Obamacare's protections. And that's all we really care about, right? Not only will they get the amazing protections that were afforded to us by Obamacare, but they will get about a $200,000 a year extra tax break.
It just seems like such a sleazeball move to put that
worry,
like freaking
Kelly,
exemption in there for them to have Obamacare, and like now everyone's like so angry about that. They're like, oh well, we're gonna relook at that.
Don't worry about it, Kelly, because not only do they get those protections, but not through Obamacare, they just have those protections. They get a $200,000 a year tax break, but don't worry, it's not going to cost you anything. Kind of. It is really, because what we're doing is we're cutting all the tax cuts and credits that were given to those who couldn't afford healthcare that helped them pay for healthcare. So we're taking these tax credits away from the most vulnerable who needed help getting their health insurance. And instead of doing that, we're going to give the millionaires an extra big tax break.
Reverse Robin Hood.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I'm angry. And, you know, Obamacare wasn't perfect. In fact, Obamacare wasn't great for me either, which is why I didn't use it for health insurance.
Yeah, I feel like we've been pretty fair on the podcast about that. Like, there were issues, and they could have, and we could work to solve them, but this is a big step back.
But what was great about Obamacare was the transparency needed in the wordings of the policy, so you knew what was going to be covering, and the bare essentials. Those minimum standards that Obamacare put on insurance. They were like, if you are going to offer health insurance, this, and this must be covered at the bare minimum. That wasn't there to get politicians rich. Those essential coverages were there for you. They were there for everybody, and they need to stay there. If Trumpcare does nothing else, it needs to keep those minimum essential requirements.
Yeah.
Because let's fucking face it, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. No one does.
I'm scared. I might actually read the bill and see what it's all about.
It's bullshit. Print it out and use it on your bum when you take a big old shit. Because I feel like that's what they're doing.
Send it to my senator.
Your Republican senator, please. Not
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really disappointed. So I know this is a shorter podcast, but I wanted to, you know, I think we wanted to kind of talk about this and hope that you guys will act for the 5 of you who listen. If any of you are in the US, call your senators, your Republicans or whatever.
Yep.
Make them know that this can't go through. Honestly, like, as much as it may sound like me being dramatic and shit, but if this passes the Senate, people will die. And it's nothing about entitlement. No. It's about... At this point, we're not a barbaric. Well, I mean, some places are a bit barbaric. I mean, they have you seen the gravy they put on biscuits and stuff in Georgia?
Yeah.
But
I kind of like biscuits and gravy.
Oh, it's nasty. That white shit. Like, what is that? Yeah. It's like flour and glue or something.
It is. I have it every once in a while. I like it.
What is a grit?
Oh yeah, grits.
I just don't want to eat something that's named after a road surface. Kind of looks similar as well. But yeah, you know, you need to be aware of this. This is going to affect everyone.
I mean, back to the drawing board. Like, they can still fix this stuff up, but this isn't a great plan. No, it's not. And I'm not pro Obamacare either, but I am very, very pro those minimum requirements in Obamacare. And I think everyone should be. Yes, you may be young and healthy now, but the stats of getting something aren't good. You know, it's like 1 in 2 or 1 in 3 get cancer. I think it's 1 in 3 in the US. And just anything could fucking happen. That's what insurance is. You have car insurance for the same reason. Everybody deserves health insurance. Yeah, it's like some people just sort of assume that they're like special and they're never going to get sick and... Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, and that's why you get insurance. World fucking sucks. You're going to get sick at some point. Yeah, at some point you will. Unless we all die in a big fiery... I mean, North Korea just said they were going to break the Earth. Oh, did they? Yeah, they said they were going to get 5 million nukes, take out Korea and the United States, and that the Earth would break. Oh, cool. So that's cute. That's great.
He's probably there with his Lego, like, let's break it.
Oh my God.
No?
It's probably happened, yeah.
Trump's over there with pictures of like low-income houses, like, let's kill them.
Yes. Oh,
Make them
God.
dead. I bet this wasn't what you thought when Trump said he wanted to eliminate poverty. Just eliminate the poor.
Oh, God. What a crazy world we live in. French elections are coming up.
So's the British one.
Oh, yeah. Was it supposed to happen? Or it was like an emergency?
June 8th. Yeah, Theresa May did it. It's about with the whole Brexit thing, everyone's flipping out, and so she's doing a special election, and the Tories, who are like the conservatives / Republicans, they want to get rid of like the NHS, and they're kind of like Donald Trump, fuck the poor, help the rich. And then you've got the other side of things.
Wait, the NHS, that's the healthcare?
Yeah.
Wait, they want to get rid of... Wait, what do they want to do instead?
I'm not sure. Like, I think they just want to... I think they like the idea of... I think they've seen what Trump can do, like taking all the money from the poor and giving it to the rich, and I think they kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
But they have some other good policies as well. Like, I'm weird. I'm neither Republican or Democrat. Like, I'm not even in the middle. I'm really for some Republican policies, and I'm really for some Democratic policies. I think I'm just for people, right?
Yeah.
Do whatever you want, when you want, as long as it doesn't affect me. And I won't put my religious views on you if you don't put yours on me. And I don't care if you're gay, bi, trans, you're a furry. I don't give a fuck. You do you.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But it's like...
I think that we should support our lower income members of society, because without that support, they're never going to get out of it. And all you're doing is keeping that family down in the gutter. You're not helping them out. Like, I believe in holding a hand out and helping people up.
Yeah, and then one day they can become, a tax-paying citizen.
Exactly, 100%. Like I said, I wouldn't be a tax-paying citizen if I didn't grow up in England. I would be depressed, maybe dead, on disability. Like, I've never taken a benefit payment. Never, not once, in any country. And that is because of the country I grew up in. And I feel like if the US kind of did that with some of people with health problems or disabilities, a bit more support, maybe even, here's the thing, those small businesses who are self-employed, maybe lower their tax brackets a little bit. So it's not like a 40% fucking tax. Like, these are the people that are about to expand and can hire local people and put more tax in the thing if we didn't have the highest tax bracket. Because of my high tax bracket, like, if I paid like the 20% or 25% tax instead of the 40% tax, I could hire an extra 1 to 2 members of staff in an area where I live where unemployment is insanely high.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you those 2 working people would have been more beneficial than that extra 15% tax that we pay.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Bullshit. Kitty for dictator.
Yeah, you think you'd be a good dictator? I want to be one.
Yeah, you can be my vice.
I might do screwed up shit, though. I don't know. I might have a little
That's
fun.
why you'd be vice. Like, I'd have to keep you in check. Like, I'm not going to lie. But I don't know, what are your guys' suggestions about healthcare? Like, because it's such a passionate thing, and I know a lot of you are probably young and healthy, and you may see it that you shouldn't be responsible for anybody else. And if you do think that, why? Like, I mean, we all live on this planet together. We're all responsible for each other's environment, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts, your concerns, your opinions.
Yay, Trump.
Woohoo!
No. So yeah, this one was a bit shorter because we really just wanted to delve into the healthcare. But cool people, if we don't put this little comedy skit at the end of this, because we might not be able to for copyright, there's a link in the description. I highly suggest you want it if you want to feel a bit more happier but still like dark humor laughter about the healthcare situation. We'll put it at the top of the description. And let us know what topics you want for Real Talk in future, because I thought last week's was pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, I guess we're wrapping it up really short today.
I mean, there was that Fire Festival thing, but I feel like that's pretty much been talked about.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that shit, man.
Yeah. I mean,
and what was it, 80% that went for a refund said they'd go again?
Yeah, what? Oh my god, really?
Yeah. Well, they're dumb
Dingbats.
fucks, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. So, but anyway, please call people. Please research into the healthcare bill. And if you're able, try and spread the word. Let's not let it get to the Senate. If you want more information on stuff that's going on, follow the ACLU on Twitter.
Bye, guys.
Laters. Yay for constant awkward ending.